As Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 46 looms over the horizon, we have brand new spoilers and leaks for the upcoming manga chapter, in which not only depicts Moro having to battle against Goku and Vegeta, but also showcases a more in-depth look on their battle, in which leads into Goku and Vegeta having to be defeated by Moro later on in the manga. As once more, before we begin, if you guys are new to this channel and love Dragon Ball and anime and want to be kept in the loop with all latest news, information, and updates for the Dragon Ball Super manga and the Dragon Ball Super anime, then don't forget to go ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload, alongside slapping a like down below if you guys are excited to see what happens involving Moro having to battle against the Saiyans, as the first image having to be shown on screen is base Goku attacking Moro. Now this is before Moro absorbs the very essence and energy of Goku and Vegeta, and it looks like Moro is casually able to deflect and block Goku's attacks without even having to acknowledge him in any kind of way. So with Moro having to look down on Vegeta while battling against Goku is very impressive, in and of the fact that Goku cannot right now transform into a Super Saiyan, being that Moro was able to nullify the Super Saiyan transformations in not allowing Goku and Vegeta to transform any further. Now this is interesting because Goku in his base is significantly much more powerful now than how we've seen during the Tournament of Power and the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown here, it looks like Goku is in fact struggling. Now the context behind this is assuming that Goku is in fact battling Moro without Vegeta's help, and it looks like based on Goku's expression, he's not only worried, but also seems like he's having a very difficult time. As we transition into the third shot having to be shown, Vegeta looks like he's crashing through a pile of rocks, perhaps maybe slammed through a mountain or a cliff, but Vegeta right now is taking a massive L as an end result of him not being able to transform and having his powers be taken from him by Moro. So Vegeta right now looks like he is at a significant disadvantage, as is Goku. As we carry on into the next shot having to be shown here, Moro looks like he's using some sort of pressure-like wave and or attack in directly focusing on either Goku and or Vegeta, and based on Moro's expression after absorbing the very essence and life energy in the previous manga chapter, Moro doesn't seem like he's even breaking a sweat against Goku and Vegeta now, which we are going to be fully covering this manga chapter in English once it debuts in the next couple of days, so make sure you guys come back to find out what exactly happens in English. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown here, Goku looks like he gets hit with such an attack that his very body is beginning to tremble under the pressure. Now of course, judging based on Goku's expression, whatever attack he ends up getting hit with looks like is taking a toll on Goku's body. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, Moro so casually slams Goku on a pile of rocks while still clinging onto his foot. Very similar to what Broly did to Goku in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Now of course, it's not in any kind of similar fashion to where he's slamming him repeatedly on the ground, but instead it looks like the way Moro is swinging Goku around seems to be from side to side, which again is very impressive considering the fact that Moro now is much more powerful than how he was before and is casually able to flick Goku around without breaking a sweat. So that just goes to show Moro's danger level as we continue to progress throughout this manga. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, Goku looks to be in utter pain, which again is understandable considering the fact that he cannot transform. So this entire manga chapter is going to be Goku and Vegeta getting the ever so holy ghost beat out of them by an ever so growing Moro. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, again very similar to what Broly did to Goku, Moro grabs Goku by the foot and slams him on the ground, slams him on the rocks, slams him on the cliffside. So Moro looks like more or less he's copying the very same thing that Broly did to Goku, except this is a planet-draining, life-sucking being, in which has resulted in Goku and Vegeta not being able to do anything against him. So keep that in mind, and I really do enjoy the level of brutality that Moro is introducing in this manga chapter, because not only is he killing off Namekians, not only is he stealing energy, but he's also showcasing a very dominant side to him. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, Vegeta bloody, Vegeta injured, Vegeta angry. So Vegeta, it looks like, has no chance against Moro, being that not only is he not able to transform into a Super Saiyan, but it looks like his base power is simply not enough. However, as we continue to transition into the next shot having to be shown here, it looks like Vegeta fires off his Gallic gun from above. Now, even though Vegeta does shoot out this blast, according to what we've seen previously, Moro is able to absorb this blast with complete and utter ease. Not only are blasts nullified against him, but he's able to take Vegeta's Gallic gun and absorb that very power inside of him. So Moro is very similar to an android, but having to be an actual biological organism, someone that's not made of any machine parts, someone that isn't a cyborg, and that's what's scary about Moro, is the fact that he doesn't have to be anywhere near you to drain your energy or take your energy from you. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, obviously Vegeta, a very damaged Vegeta, gets into his Gallic gun pose, which I cannot wait to see what Vegeta does in this stance and having to fire such an attack against him. So again, Vegeta having to look glorious in this shot. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, it looks like Goku gets up from having to be smashed on the floor and he's injured, he's bloody, his clothing is torn, and it looks like he's implying something against Moro, or simply having to conversate with Vegeta and having to get away from the situation now and regrouping and creating a plan to take on Moro later on, in which we've seen in the previous spoilers where Goku attempts to use instant transmission but fails to do so. As we transition into the next shot here, Whis is watching and looking at the very battle that Goku and Vegeta are having against Moro on New Planet Namek, and it looks like Whis is very concerned, and he looks like he's actually very surprised in watching this go down, because Moro is a very dangerous entity, and I'm very curious if Whis is going to bring this to Beerus' attention at some point, considering the fact that Goku and Vegeta now can't really do anything against him. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, Beerus perhaps was sleeping or taking a nap, because we see these watermarks underneath his eyes. It looks like he's yawning, so Beerus just seems to be doing Beerus kind of things, looming around his planet, eating food, sleeping, being your traditional typical cat. But I'm very curious if he is going to be aware of the events going down on New Planet Namek. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, we see Beerus setting up somewhat of a fishing rod on a tree stump, fishing for fish for the oracle fish, and it looks like he is speaking to Whis about something. It may or may not be involving Moro, but Whis and Beerus are indefinitely featured in this upcoming manga chapter, which again, as you guys can see, Beerus and Whis continue their conversation, in which Whis, as he's observing what's going on with Moro and Goku and Vegeta, it looks like he perhaps brings this to Beerus' attention. As we go back to planet Earth, we actually get to see how Mr. Satan is playing with Bola, and the reason why this is important is because Majin Buu, who is still currently sleeping, is of course Mr. Satan's friend. So I'm really curious if Hercule is going to be directly involved in this arc in being used to wake up Majin Buu, which again is very interesting considering the fact that right now Majin Buu is basically needed for this fight. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown with Jocko, it looks like Jocko is up to something. It looks like Jocko is talking to someone, so perhaps maybe Jocko is trying to devise somewhat of a plan in getting Moro nullified and having to execute and utilizing Majin Buu to free the Grand Kaio, which again is most interesting to see what kind of direction we go in featuring Moro and Maris. As we transition into the next shot having to be shown, it looks like Bulma is really upset with Hercule about something, and whatever that ends up being is going to be most interesting, because I think he's possibly asking about the whereabouts of Majin Buu, and I don't think she's going to tell him where he is, which of course is going to be a very interesting take as to what happens in this manga chapter, which again, I do advise you guys to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to be in the loop, because I am going to be covering the entirety of this manga chapter on this channel. So I'm excited to see what Moro is going to do, and it looks like based on what we're seeing from the scans, perhaps maybe this could be the opportunity given to us in seeing Beerus be directly involved in this scenario, given Moro's status and his danger level as a presence, as an entity in this universe. I can't wait to see that, but I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your overall thoughts on Moro defeating Goku and Vegeta? What are your thoughts on Beerus perhaps getting involved in a future chapter? And what do you think needs to be done in order to put Moro down in defeating him entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys are excited, slap a like down below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, tune back in for the next video, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge!